So a woman I was seeing told me I looked like beta male Clark Kent. It was just like, that's not what I meant by role play. I've always been jealous of Clark Kent, by the way. He is the only glasses superhero. He takes off his glasses, he's Superman. I take off my glasses and I am blind. I have really, really bad vision, nearsighted, 2 astigmatism, scar in one eye, I'm colorblind, I drove here tonight, it's fine. I am one of the only white people here who can honestly say, I don't see color or shapes. Thank you, guys. You know, guys said I was Jewish, I'm actually not. That's not the first time that's happened to me. Worst one was at a Subway. Not like an underground train, the pedophile restaurant. A guy just asked me, like, what race are you? And it's the guy behind the counter. And I don't know Subway's handbook, but I feel like that's a no. He's like, what race are you? And I want to be very clear, it wasn't in response to anything. I didn't like go up and I was like, let me get an Italian BMT on pita. And he's like, what race are you? I was just sitting there. He says, excuse me, sir, what race are you? I say, oh, you know, I'm like Scottish and French and stuff. Participating in this very informal 23andMe. And he says, oh, I would have guessed Jewish. And I'm worried because now I know what he was really asking. And I say, oh yeah, I get that sometimes. And he goes, yeah, why do you think that is? Like he's gonna entrap me into describing my own face? So I say, I don't know, I've got dark hair and stuff. And he says, yeah, when you walked in here, I thought you looked a little bit like Larry King. And I swear, I'm about to cry in front of this Eat Fresh anti-Semite. And then he says, you know, if he were still alive, like that was the problem I had? We're in a bit of a housing crisis out here. I know I'm lucky, my place has a balcony. Well, my place is a balcony. My lease is up when that couple opens the blinds and sees me. It's gonna be bad. I knew it was bad though. When I first moved here, I lived on Hollywood. And I knew a guy who lived on the street, and at night, he would bring out an arc welder and make these beautiful custom lowrider bicycles. I knew a homeless blacksmith. You know what I mean? And if he can't find a house with a skilled profession, what hope is there for any of us? All I do is recite childhood drama with punchlines. It's hopeless. It's terrible. It is. I did something this year that I'm proud of, though. Here, at age 31, I quit smoking. Thank you. And 6 months ago, at age 30, I started smoking. Had to see what the fuss was about. I knew it was a bad idea. I knew I was gonna have to quit, because people like look at you differently if you're an adult who's choosing to smoke, you know? I think if you saw me around, get these thick glasses, sort of dorky hair, you'd be like, oh, I bet that guy reads a lot of books. If you saw me exactly the same but with a cigarette, I think you'd think, oh, I bet that guy just reads The Catcher in the Rye over and over and over, and has some opinions. I don't remember buying cigarettes in the first place. That's the weird part. I woke up one day, cigarettes next to the bed, I had burned holes in my clothes. I'm like a white trash werewolf, you guys. I'm transformed. I grew up in Indiana. I feel like I hit 30. Suddenly my genetics were like, all right, from now on you smoke, you love NASCAR, anything past the first cousin's fine. I am actually from Indiana. I grew up in Indiana, so I'm not afraid of you. All right? My youth pastor was a handgun. My middle school was a gas station bathroom. Go Shells. It's funny, being from Indiana, my neighbors from growing up are here. Right here, right? Yeah, give it up for them. They came all the way from India. They've been watching me do comedy since I was 5 years old. And I got to imagine they're surprised to find out I got worse. Really peaked at 6. That was it. I never did comedy in Indiana. I did have this job right out of high school. I moved and cleaned porta potties. Did anybody else enjoy their teenage years? Yeah? Yeah, it was a very like character building job, by which I mean it was minimum wage, you know? I worked with a criminal at this job. I worked with a guy named James Brown. He was a white guy named James Brown, which says a lot about the state of Indiana. We outsourced the job of James Brown to a white man. It's a terrible place. My boss introduced us. He was like, Tommy, this is James Brown. And I said, oh, like the singer. And the guy says, who? And fine. Now I don't like White James Brown because he is a liar. He didn't go through this much life with that name and you never heard the song I Feel Good. That's bullshit. I was right to distrust White James Brown. First day, he brings a gun to work. Papa's got a brand new Beretta style, you know? And he explains, he's like, it's okay. I'm gonna show this to one of our customers. He's building a gun range, it's fine. And I'm like, all right. So he puts the gun on the seat in between us in the truck, and I'm like, is that safe? And he says, relax, I'm a good driver. So 5 minutes later, we're getting pulled over because White James Brown does not wear seatbelts. And I throw a hoodie over the gun. Because in Indiana, it's legal to have a gun in the car, but it has to be like locked and far away from the driver, and not sliding around the seat like a Sugar Ray CD no one remembers buying. That's where this becomes a felony. I remember I was so pissed at him afterwards. We got off. I was so pissed. And he says, you can't be mad at me. I can bring a gun wherever I want. That's my right. We are living in America. And I was like, that's a James Brown song, you liar. Here's how they brought down White James Brown. They caught him stealing my boss's corporate checkbook on security cameras he had installed for them 3 weeks before. I saw the tape. He looked at the camera. There was a ladder underneath leading up to the camera. White James Brown didn't even try to get on up. What is that? So obviously I'm in therapy, you know, for your protection. I have a good therapist now. I used to have a bad one. She was doing intake. This is the first day. She says, so are you depressed? And I said, yeah. She says, have you ever thought about killing yourself? And I said, well, yeah. And she says, well, when you think about that, what's stopping you? It's just like, whose side are you on here? Come on. I have a good therapist now. She'll still say messed up stuff. This is a real thing she said to me. She said, Tommy, why do you think you only date women with such severe mental health problems? Actually, it's 10 till the hour. We'll answer that next week. And she sent me out into the world like that. I have been doing something good for my mental health lately. I've been writing jokes for other comedians. It's been very rewarding. My friend Josh and I were at a show. We were watching a friend of ours. She did one of my jokes. And I turned to Josh and I was like, I wrote that joke. And he said, that joke didn't get a laugh. But this one right here did, so we're good. I do want to say this. It's been a bit of a tough year for me, mental health-wise, but I want to tell you all, right here, I've turned a corner, I've got a new lease on life, and I'm not going to kill myself, okay? For another year, then the lease goes month to month. After that, we'll see. Guys, I'm telling you, keep it going for Guy.